I see you, straining in the slips like greyhounds awaiting the start. Do we not hear the chimes at midnight? Cry havoc and unleash the dogs of war! So I'm back, and today, something you thought that the Lost Ark was a big box. That was nothing compared to this! Today we have the Holy Grail, what I believe may be my favourite kit of the year already. And it's only the end of March. Now, I have to say to you that I've actually had this huge box here. It's been sitting here now for several days, and the only reason that I haven't filmed and presented to you before is I've been very, very unwell. Actually, I've had some sort of a flu virus. Wasn't COVID. I tested repeatedly and it definitely wasn't COVID. So I've had this thing and it's been going around. It's been abroad in the village where I live, and it has been taking down many a man, woman and child, and I seem to have survived, but I still do have a nasty cough. So I'm telling you this only because I may cough, sneeze, and if I start coughing, yes, you'll think I've got consumption or something, because it's quite bad when it starts. But anyway, I have here some nice beautiful claret to help me, so I'm going to have a little slurp of this. I'm going to pop that somewhere safe over there out of the way, because this is so huge. I mean, what you won't necessarily appreciate, well, you might do at the corner of the image, I had to move the camera right back from its normal position to actually get this in and me in as well. So it's actually been a bit of a challenge. So what on earth could it be? So this is something that I saw a few months ago. It's not my normal thing. And somebody pointed out to me, here's another Shakespeare quote coming up, I can feel it. But somebody pointed out to me recently that whenever I do a video or review on an armoured vehicle or a car or World War I winged up wings kits, obviously in that case, that I don't get very many views. And if I do an aircraft, you know, a Spitfire or something like a review of something hilarious, you know, or a general talk, I get, you know, 5, 10, 20 times as many views. So it's a bit of a minority subject, and this is one of those minority subjects that we're going to be looking at today. And it's not the sort of thing I would normally buy. And this is going back to the thing about views and the popularity of them. There's no accounting for taste, of course, but that is just the popularity. So aircraft are the #1 favourite of most people, and then I think they like armour, and then it's, you know, then it's probably cars, then it's World War I, and then ships is probably the bottom of the heap, you know. It's just the way it seems to be. So we are few in number, but we few, we happy few, as you'd say in Henry V. Don't let's be put off by that. Here we have something that goes right to the core of my recent problems with, I can't say the word, the K word, and I've been actually working, as I filmed this today, I've been working on that K word kit, and I've been having more challenges, which I won't bore you with today. We're going to be, there it goes, we're going to be having a final end of build review on that kit, which is going to be very entertaining. And I can tell you now, a final quote from Shakespeare, which I'll use again at the start of that video, and it goes like this. It's from The Merchant of Venice. Prick us, do we not bleed? Poison us, inhaling all the fumes from all the cleaner and the solvents. Do we not die? Wrong us, Kinetic Sea Harrier, do we not revenge? Well, there will be revenge, but don't worry, that's another day, another story for another day. So anyway, the reason I mentioned that is because I said I am not building any more crap kits. I've just had it now. I'm not building kits unless I'm absolutely convinced they're going to be great or certainly pleasurable. They don't have to be, you know, they don't have to fall together and build themselves like a top of the range Tamiya does. But they have to be enjoyable and fun and interesting and not be stupidly badly conceived. And in this box, I think we have one of the antidotes to that problem. So without further ado, my Grail quest seems to have come to an end. My biblical progress. We've seen the Lost Ark, and now it's time for the Holy Grail, and I believe I'm one of the first people in the UK to get this. I say I've had it for several days already when I filmed this, so I could have actually had this video out 3 days ago, but I just wasn't well enough. I could not have filmed it. But anyway, I haven't opened the box at all. It's completely sealed. It's come directly from China. Let's go. This is going to be worth watching. Something different, and I'm also going to say, I'm going to give a pledge. I intend to build the contents of this box. To build it! Like I say, I think it's going to be very pleasurable and fun. Something different, so let's have a look what it is. Without further ado. If I can get in it, so bear with me, because it is absolutely mahoosive, isn't it? Get the old trusty knife out. Oops. And I say this is my very first attempt to open it. I'm not sure how they've done this actually. Seems pretty well sealed. It came in good condition, which is nice, and it's come all the way from China directly. Is that it? In there? Yeah, I think so. Let's go in a little bit shallow here. I always like to go shallow just in case. There we go. I think we might have it. Whoa. It could be any number of things. It says there are 10 items inside. 10. So, 10 items? What could it possibly be? This is just... I can't believe the size. This is the biggest opening I've ever done. It's absolutely massive. It makes the WnW Lost Ark look tiny. And I think I'm going to have to drop it on the ground. I'm just not going to get at it. I think what they've done is they've done a lot of excellent packaging. So I'm just going to drop the box onto the floor. Well, you're just not going to see anything. So let's put that out of the way over here. And I will, bear with me 1 second. Put all the packaging out of the way. And there's lots of airbags. And it is incredibly well packed. They've done an excellent job. I've got to say, oh, struggling to get it out. There's that much packaging. Okay, so, ta-da! Yes, it is the Andy's Hobby Headquarters Tack-On Tiger 1 early version, early production. Actually, I've got to say, it says there's 10 in the box. What do they mean by that? That's very odd. You could have got 2 of these in that box. That's absolutely incredible. Talk about over packaging, but I'm not complaining because it was surrounded by airbags and bubble wrap and everything. So that's it. Let's take a look at this. Now I know that Andy himself, of course, just so for those of you who don't know, exhausted just getting it out of the box. Andy's Hobby Headquarters. Andy's he's got his own YouTube channel and he's a very enthusiastic modeller, and he's got a model shop business, and he's expanded recently and gone into a new unit, much bigger, with a big warehouse. He's got a warehouse in Europe and he's expanding all over the place, and he's a really nice chap. I love watching his YouTube channel because he's just he's one of us, you know. He's a proper modeller. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but he really enjoys his modelling, and he has already produced one of these commissions with Tack-On, collaboration with them. The first one, of course, was the Easy 8 Sherman, which I was like, that's not really my thing. As soon as this was announced, I thought, oh, a 16th scale Tiger 1, early production, which is my favourite. And I thought, do you know what, this is the Michael Wittmann edition as well. And it actually comes with a Michael Wittmann figure. Absolutely stunning bit of, there it is, the full figure included. Oh, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Anyway, I was telling you about Andy. So he's got this, he's now got quite a presence, you know, worldwide presence, I'd say. And he's actually based in Glendale, which is sort of northwest of Phoenix in Arizona. And his original shop, I've got a feeling that on Google Earth that's his original shop, which is quite small, but his new one is quite a bit bigger. Lovely chap, very interesting. I love the way he goes through and he does very good reviews on YouTube. And the beauty is, Tack-On, of course, are known for some of this slightly dodgy instructions. The kits are great, but they do have some slightly dodgy instructions. Now, when I say dodgy, I mean the illustrations, the diagrams are absolutely brilliant. Excuse me, here we go. I'm going to have a drink. It is evening this time. I promise you it's not like 10 in the morning. No, it was 10 in the evening. Here's to Andy. Cheers, Andy. And he has recognised that probably that the weakness of Tack-On is their instructions, and he has. It's a tank that's fairly, because it's big as well, it probably helps to understand how it goes together anyway. But he has done his own video of actually how to assemble it, how to paint, and this is why I like him so much, because he's really good at making it easy to buy his product, and that is exactly what is wrong with a lot of these manufacturers. They're making it hard. This Tackman would have brought this out, I'd have probably just passed it by, because he brought it out and he took the time to give an intro, he did a review, then he showed you how to build it, and he goes step by step. He even shows a couple of errors in the instructions, how to get around. All you got to do is watch his video, and you have a hell of a whale of a time building this. It'll be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to build this, even though it's massive. I still haven't quite planned where I'm going to put it, but it's such an interesting, because it's a Tiger 1. I don't think anything else I would have bothered with, but I thought, God, I'm gonna get this. It's gonna be fantastic. Anyway, enough words. Thanks a lot to Andy. Cheers to you. Great choice you made here, I've got to say. So let's get this very large box indeed. It's the biggest box, one of the biggest boxes we've ever had here, I think. And let's have a look at, zoom you in. Let's have a look at all these variants, and we'll have a proper look inside. I'll even open the bags for you, because I'm going to build this. So I wanted to build something that'd be fun and enjoyable. Now look at this. We've got 6 options here. Panzer Regiment 1, Eastern Front at Jatomy, which I think is on the Czech-Russian border, I think. And then we've got Panzer Abteilung 505 on the Eastern Front at Kursk in July 43. Very important battle, of course. This is Michael Wittmann's tank here, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually SN4 is his tank, so that must have been at different times. Okay, this is later. Eastern Front, winter 43 to 44. And then we've got the Schwer Panzer Abteilung 502 in Eastern Front at Narva, February 44. And then we've got the Schwer Panzer Abteilung 504, which is at Caltagirone in Sicily, July 43. So that's an Italian campaign. And then we've got another one here on the Eastern Front again, at the Sini Avino Hills. Not sure where that is. I'm guessing it's in Western Russia, but there we go. Andy Sabbit, there you go, he's at Glendale. All hats off to you, Andy. A very good idea to collaborate with Tackman, especially the way you've gone about it. Absolutely great idea. Fairly nice artwork this time, because Tackman are not known for their great artwork, and it is really rather nice. We've got all the sprues shown on the side. I need to tame down my light a little bit. Let's just tame it down a bit. There we go. Sprues on the side, and obviously it's going to be fairly massive when we open this. But actually, it's not that ridiculously large, even though it's very big, obviously. Certainly not as absolutely ridiculous as it was suggested by the outer box. I still can't understand. They could have got 2 of those almost in there. I'm sure they could. Anyway, it says on the front, highly detailed plastic model includes metal barrel. It's got individual track links, working suspension, working tracks. This is not a toy, and it's intended for ages 14 or over. Don't I just spoil my YouTube subscribers? Here we go. So we're going to have a proper look at this right now. Here we go. This is the first time it's ever come off. Be careful here, it's a vacuum. Excuse me. Please excuse the coughing. Oh dear, I'll stop smoking. Just joking. Right. Right. Oh my goodness, look at the size of this. Oh Lord, it's huge. Great. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it in reverse order. I'm going to use that as the collecting box. Right, here we go. So what we'll do, I think, it's better if I don't have the box in the way. It's such a huge thing. Please excuse the coughing. It will continue, I'm afraid. We'll have a little sip. A slurp, as Keith Floyd would say. A quick slurp. And that'll put us right as rain, that's what he used to say. Okay. Where do we begin? Well, we need the instructions. It's 5 in there, isn't it? Oh my God, this could take days. Oh lordy. Bag of tracks. A broken bag of tracks. It has to be said. Look at those. Oh my goodness. Ha! It's incredible. On it goes. Oh geez, this could take days to review. I don't know how to begin. This is much more sprues than I expected, honestly. And this was actually a gift from my wife. How lucky am I, huh? How lucky am I? That's incredible. Thank you, darling. Okay. Wearing gloves to keep the germs off it, basically. Right. I think this is where we start. I'm going to put it all back in there. Otherwise we'll never get through it. So I put them in there. Just bear with me because this is a logistical nightmare. Like never before. I think it'll be worth it though. So bear with me. I think you'll enjoy it. And I just need to get organised in a way that we can sort of rotate it through and have some logic to what I'm doing. I think I've got it sussed so we can end up in the right way. So, and I'm not well, so please just, you know, give me a bit of slack, you know. I've been taking drugs all week and I'm off the drugs now, so I can have a drink. They put me up. I was feeling so rough, I was right off the booze as well. Anyway, so let's go, because this is something that has cheered me up. The arrival of this has made me recover. Now, how do I get in? Is it? Oh yes, it's a resealable bag. Here we go. Now this is going to be something. One for the books. Look at this. We've got this metal barrel. Wow, look at that. I took one look at it when Andy first presented this on YouTube, and I thought, dude, you have got my business, you know. You've definitely got my business. Right, we have got some tow cable, copper tow cable. Let's bring you into this. How about this? That's incredible. Now then, get the lamp back on full, can't we, for this? There we go. Look at that. Okay. Wow, that's nice. Tow cables, copper. We've got some nice photo etch for all the grills. So because the camera's out of position, it's I'm actually not presenting quite to the right angle. All as a consequence of the size of this beast, this behemoth. We've got some tiny correction decals there. We've got the main decals here, which, well, is, you know, that's a major feature on a vehicle like this, are they? So I won't bother spending too much time on those, but just basically German crosses and numbers, SO4 being Michael Wittmann's tank. And here we go. So, Tiger Feibel. So schnell sack. So not fast. So not so fast, does that mean? I'm not very good at my German. That's good. Anyway, here we go. So I won't go word for word because you can see this on Andy's own YouTube channel. He goes through it in probably better detail than me, but just give you a flavour of it. So here we go. It's just got all basically your ammo colour callouts. Of course, TACOM always go with MIG ammo as colours, which I wish they wouldn't, but there we go. That's just TACOM. It's not Andy's fault. I'm sure that he decided to partner with the people he thought was going to do the best job of the moulding, and I think he chose wisely. There's a winter version. And by the way, some of you will know that I'm going to have to bring that camera back around now, because it's definitely the wrong angle, isn't it? The camera is skewed off a bit, isn't it? To do it in this very odd way to try and get everything in. So I'm just going to bring you forward a bit, if you bear with me. How's that? Is that better? I think it is. I was going to say, I've mentioned before I'm on the Flory forum, and Phil Flory's just brought out some great new thick washers, and he's doing like a snow wash, which would be ideal for this, wouldn't it? Look at that. Anyway, let's go in close and have a look. Okay. So, all these different beautiful, like almost like a Normandy style one there. So you've got a winter one, Normandy style, you've got the traditional three-tone camouflage here, which does look the business. Sorry about the coughing. This is the more dark three-tone. So you've got light three-tone, dark three-tone, then you've got this Italian style one, which is just a two-tone. And then you've got like a North African style as well. Eastern front, but it's got like North African sort of desert yellow. Interestingly. Okay. And then here we go. Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. I can hear his voice now. Perhaps you're familiar with the YouTube channel. Yes, we are. My journey in a nutshell. I'll read this because I like Andy. Let's give him a bit of a PR plug. He says, my journey in a nutshell. I'm a bricks and mortar store owner, online retailer. I've got my own brand and it's truly a dream come true. 74, I built my own first model, a P61 Black Widow by Monogram. Andy's Hobby Headquarters was born in 1995 and he opened his first store in El Cajon in California. 2004 we moved to the second store which opened in Glendale, Arizona. In 2015 he started his YouTube channel. In 2019 Andy's Hobby Headquarters HQ.com went live and his first model was the Easy 8 Sherman in 2022. And he basically says, thank you very much for your purchase. Now, let's get started, as he always says. Okay, so there you go, Andy. Well done, mate. So we've got the sprue map, which we talked about. We won't dwell on that too much. And then you can see now what I meant about tack-on's slightly rudimentary style to the way they go in the instructions. Now, on this kit, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem, especially when you refer, if you refer any difficulties at all, just go to Andy's Tiger build video and you won't have any issues with this whatsoever. Because I watched it yesterday and I thought, wow, this is brilliant. All the manufacturers should do that for every kit. Wouldn't it be nice if they did? It'd be a great idea, actually. I mean, there's no excuses there, really, nowadays. However, I suppose the problem is the different languages, but anyway, here we go. So you've got this bathtub style hull. And you're building up all your the front drive system here with your drive sprockets, and then you've got your sprockets themselves going on there. Building up your many tracks. How many are there? 96 per side. Ouch! Oh gee. Okay. Well, that is the nature of armour, I guess. But these are really look like a clever design. Now I saw Andy's video, as I say, and he looks like he's got. Shows that you can pin it and unpin it, so you can release it to take it off. The tracks are fully workable. You've got fully workable suspension. Absolutely fantastic. And here it shows all the road wheels going together. Make 8, make 8, make 8. So that's 36, isn't it? 32, sorry. 32 road wheels, 16 aside. And then you put your drive sprockets and your idler wheels in. And then you're off, basically. Your chassis is built. So then you're building up your front, the glasses plate at the front with the machine gun. Then you've got the side panels going on here, and the fans at the back, cooling fans. You've got your exhaust, you build up your exhaust system here. And your exhaust shrouds, you've got an antenna holder, all your equipment like your jacks, your towing eyes, etc. at the back. Drivers and gunners hatches being constructed there. And then we've got basically one or two, what's that, is that a hull being drilled? Yeah, hull being drilled. And again, if in any doubt at all, just refer to his YouTube build video, it's a piece of cake. Excuse me, another quick swig. Hope I don't run out of Bordeaux. It's helping me though, I've got to say. And you've got all the hatches going on here. Many hatches, and the grills with the PE parts. You've got all your tools and your lights, and you get your antenna, and then there's another antenna, a high frequency, low frequency antenna going on. More tools, you've got spade, you've got axe, you've got wire cutters, all getting in there, and the barrel cleaning rods as well, and of course the it doesn't make that very clear, does it? It's just this reminds me of Kinetics, actually. Sorry, Andy. Here you've suddenly got the tow cables just appear, but they're not there, and then they just appear, and I can't see any real reference to them. Actually, that's really weird. Not the clearest, but anyway, Andy will explain it in his video. And then you've got the shrouding at the back for the cooling fans from the engine, and then you're going to put your top, the whole top on. And then you've got your the sort of protection side skirts at the side, deflector plates. You've got your deflector plate at the front with the tools going on it. And then you've got all these different little units, air cleaners, etc., and filters at the back. Then we've got our engine cover hatches, and we've got some parts of the exhaust system there going on as well, which looks quite cool. I mean, the diagrams are good. They always just print them a bit faint, don't they? They're not very bold the way they print them, unfortunately. Then you've got this beautiful metal barrel. There's plastic and metal parts in the barrel, with a whacking great muzzle brake at the front, of course, for the 88mm gun. And then we have got our breech being built up here. Excuse me. Breech all going together there. Shell catcher. Then you've got your mantlet here. Gun goes into the mantlet. Pivots, obviously, got to be careful you don't glue the wrong thing here. Machine gun going through the mantlet as well there. It's an MG30. Again, they don't tell you anything. This is why I get cross. But anyway, you've heard my rants before. MG34, I think, isn't it? And the Tiger 1, I think it is. And then we've got the hatch covers going on here. Got your periscopes here. And then you've got the commander's hatch is the big one, obviously the cupola. And then you've got the gunner's hatch is the smaller, sort of more oblong shaped one. Then you've got there's like an air extraction hatch there for the fan for the air. It blows the smoke out when they're using the gun. Those hatches go on. Then your gun comes in complete with its breech, all mounted as one. And then the top of the roof of the hatch goes, of the turret, sorry, goes on. And you've got your stowage bins at the back. They go on the back of the turret with all the hinges, etc. And the little lids. And you've got your escape hatch at the back of the turret. And then you've got your aerial going on here. And then finally you're going to bring your turret to meet the tank here. And we're done. And then that just leaves, whoops, that just leaves us to build our figure. And it's the Michael Wittmann figure. Of course, it doesn't have to be Wittmann, but it's based on Wittmann, and that looks really nice. And that's a 16 scale. That's quite a big thing. And then he's talking about some other products that are coming soon. So there we go. So that is your instructions. I would criticise it heavily if Andy had not already foreseen my criticisms by jumping ahead and saying, "Guys, here's how you do it." I just wish other people would do that, you know. It shouldn't really be necessary, though. It shouldn't be necessary. But, you know, this is his baby, and I think he's gone about it brilliantly, to be honest. I think that's very clever what he's done. So that is all the instructions. I'm going to pop that away. I'm going to look at the plastic and get really stuck into this. If you'll bear with me. This is going to be tricky, I know it is. Put that back in there. There we go. All got it in the end. I've been wanting to do this for days and I just haven't been able to because I've been feeling so unwell. So, as I said to somebody yesterday, the only good thing about being ill, I actually felt worse than when I had COVID, if I'm honest. Worse. I definitely didn't have COVID this time. I had COVID just over 6 months ago, and it was not as bad as what I've just been through. I can tell you. But the only good thing about it is that when you do start feeling better, it's great to breathe the air and feel that you can sleep and your head isn't pounding and your face isn't streaming. You've probably got a bit of a red nose and enough of my ailments. Here we have the gun barrel. We'll start with that, I think. So this is the metal barrel for the gun. Look at that. It's actually quite light, to be honest. Aluminium, clearly. Look at that. Wow. Yeah. Very nicely machined. Gorgeous. Well, that's the first one. Then we've got the track, so we'll just get, excuse me, let's get one of them out. Pardon me. Look at those. Look at the size of them against my hand. They're absolutely huge, aren't they? This is going to be, I think I'm going to quite enjoy this. And one of the things that I fancied doing a big kit for, I didn't set out to do a big kit as such, but I say this just captured my imagination as soon as he announced it. But I am finding it, I'm not the youngest of guys, I suppose. I'm not old, I'm not old. No, not at all. But I wear glasses now, and I have done now for about 7 or 8 years. And it's nice. It'd be nice to work on something that's a bit bigger, that's not so teeny weeny, you know. The only thing you've got to remember is obviously when you're upscaling something to this size, you've got to be aware that things like your detailing and your weathering have got to be in scale. So I think you have to change your mindset slightly about it. But it'd be nice to work on stuff like this that you can actually see. You know, I don't need to use. Perhaps won't need to use the optimizers to get right into the detail. But look at those, and they come with a system of pins. I'm not sure where they are. I haven't got to them yet. Don't think they're included in this bag. Which is broken for that kind of reason. We got enough now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 sets. Yeah, I guess it sounds about right, doesn't it? But they are just wonderful. If you look at the way that they are formed, the pin goes in, and this is obviously how they are going to be workable. And I've seen him doing it, you know, with his video, and it looks very, very impressive the way it operates. So you just got these pins that go in at the end, and you just, if you want to glue it, you just glue the very tiny end, not the rest of the pin, obviously. And it'll stay there, you know, and if you just leave one unpinned, you can always unplug it then, if you just mark it. You can always take the tracks off for transporting it, or, you know, if you want to move it for some reason. But aren't those gorgeous? I mean, just look at the detail there. And there's no ejector pin marks where they shouldn't be, you know, on the outside there where they're going to be visible, nothing. There are some on the inside, but I don't know if that's going to be an issue because that's covered by the wheels, really. Very, very nice indeed, those are. That's remarkable. I've never seen tracks that big before. Right, so then we've got, zoom you back for this, otherwise you'll never see anything. Look at this. So this is the bathtub hull. Again, the sheer scale of this is just almost unimaginable, really. It's huge. Look at that. Oh, crumbs. Just look at this thing. Just look at it. That is just huge. I don't need to zoom in, do I, really? It's just that massive. Oh, it's just a beast. And it's really, feels very solid and really well moulded, you know. Excuse me. Then we have some clear parts. Obviously it's just those few periscopes, so I won't bother getting them out. There's nothing much to say about them, just a few clear periscopes. Put that back in there, and then we shall have a look at the turret itself. And then, if we can, have a crack at these other many parts. Getting it back in the box is going to be the trick, isn't it? Okay, so then we have the, well, we'll give the turret as a solid. Look at this. They're not the most obvious where they open on these. It's very subtle, their resealable part. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. It's subtly done. There we go. Now then. Look at this. Oh my lord, look at that. Wow, it's big. There's a few blemishes in the mould, but that's just the plastic. It's not actually, can't feel anything. It's just it's not on the surface. It's actually within the mould itself. So the appearance of the plastic. Once you prime that up, you'll never see that. But look at that, the size of this thing. It's huge. Wow, that's very impressive. Kind of, I saw it and I thought, well, you know, I've got a Tiger at 35th scale, a Tamiya, old Tamiya one. But I thought, you know, what is not to like about this, really, apart from can you find somewhere to put it? It's the only possible downside. It wasn't, not a cheap kit, you know. About £150. It's not cheap, but not that expensive either, especially at the moment, I'd say. I'd say it's pretty reasonable value for money. It comes with a really nice figure. Let's have a look at him. Hey. I've been looking forward to this, I've got to say. Look at this. Oh lordy, look at the size of it for starters. It's huge, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me. Look at the face, look at the detail. Look at his hat. Look at his hat, it's like a slide moulded hat. Look at that. It's gorgeous. I've got his he's got an iron cross, so it clearly is like Michael Wittmann, isn't it? See that? In his glory days. Look at the detail on the back. That is sublime moulding. Really, really beautiful. You know, right down to his shoes. Look at the shoes. Wow. Hands. Look at the hands. That's superbly moulded. So lifelike. It's almost creepy, isn't it, really? Wow. Yeah, we like that, we like that. It's even got the soles of his shoes are actually separate parts, look. Look at that. Soles are separate. Absolutely amazing. His radio gear, headset, his arms, legs. That is just amazing. It's a lovely, beautiful figure. If it builds as well as it looks, you know, that's going to be quite something, isn't it, really? So, that is the figure. I'm just trying to get my lighting a little bit brighter. Not quite as bright as I anticipated tonight. Not sure why. Just resealable bags. You always want to reseal before you want them to. Gorgeous figure, like it, like it, like it. Then we have, oh, this is the stowage bins on the back of the turret, and the cupola, the commander's cupola. So here's the commander's cupola. Oh yes, look at that. Beautiful moulding. Look at that, all the bolts. Look. That's stellar, isn't it? And then we've got the stowage bin that goes on the back of the turret, complete with all the hinges and the locks. As you can clearly see, they've got little padlocks. See those? Absolutely amazing. Fantastic. Beautiful. Faultless. Absolutely sublime, that is. And then we just have a little bit of additional decals. And then we've got the huge sprue that has got these road wheels on it, of course, the rubber lined road wheels on the early Tigers. So, one of the features about the Tiger tank I don't like the later ones with the steel wheels. And the steel wheels were born out of necessity because they were running out of rubber, of course. In Nazi Germany was under heavy attack by the US Air Force and the Royal Air Force. Royal Air Force at night, US Air Force in the day. And they were really getting short of rubber. And consequently they adopted the steel wheel later. But this is the original version. And this has got the far grippier and more efficient road wheel with rubber. So you paint it black to show the rubber rim, as it were. Almost like a tyre, isn't it, really? And look at the detail here. Look at those bolts. And they're actually hexagonal bolts. I think you can probably see better than I can, actually. All the bolts that are on the wheels. Those are just, look at the size of these things compared to my hand. They're absolutely huge. Wow, those are lovely. And there are many, many, many of those, all replicated. Duplicate set, obviously. So I'll just pop that one back in here. And if you'll forgive me, because I'm flagging a bit, I'm going to have a little slurp, because I definitely need to keep drinking. Doctor's orders. It said have plenty of drinks. Whether it meant the Bordeaux claret, I'm not sure. Cheers, Doc. Right. Let me just... Whoops. This is so grippy. So, there we go. Right. So, we got another set here that's got to come out. To make sure that we get these back in this box in the right way, otherwise we will never ever get it all back in there. So much so I'm going to leave that to one side until the end. Right, so hatches then. All the engine hatches and the side skirts, etc. Actually, I said at the beginning I'll open the back, so because I didn't realise they were resealable anyway. So. Look at that. Oh, this is eye candy, this model. This is why I said it was going to be the Holy Grail. You know, I thought that. I took one look at it and I thought, why would I not want that? Really? If you can find a space for, build it and find a space for it, it's going to be a talking point. I think I can find a space for this in my living room actually. I don't think it's going to go in the cabinet because I don't think it wouldn't fit in there really. I might initially put it in the living room and then perhaps get a case for it. A nice one, But look at this. So here we've got those engine hatches that are at the back. Look at those. I'm really having trouble with my light. Can you just excuse me 1 second? I'm going to swap the lights for a second to one that's actually going to help us with some proper light. There we go. It's better. How's that? Should do us a bit better, I think. That's a lot better now then. So I'll zoom you in. Have a look at these hatches. Look at the detail here. Look at the moulding there. Always makes me laugh when I see this because it always looks to me like a Phillips head socket, doesn't it? I think it was just the shape that they were made by the Germans in the war. Here, of course, we've got our protector plate that protects the top of the tracks and deflects shots, they hope, from the crew compartment. And here you've got your mud guards. Look at the size of the mud guards, they're absolutely massive. Look, mud guards at the back. Wow. I mean, apart from doing a bit of clean-up on the odd part, which it seems like it's been fairly well designed. I mean, even here, look, the sprue gate contact point is very small. Yeah, it's damned impressive. It's damned impressive. There's no doubt about it. All the ejector pins are hidden away where they should be, and there's nothing really not to like about it. So we move on. So what I'm going to do with this, take the advice of one of my viewers. He said just put them back, stick them on your desk and then pop them in the bag and a piece of cake. And that is what we are going to do. Can't remember who told me this. It's one of my fairly regular subscribers that mentioned it, I'm sure. Thank you to him. I can't remember which one of you it was now, but thank you, because it's good advice. Right, next one. I'm on a roll now. I'm getting into the hang of how to handle it. It's just a bit daunting, there's so much of it. But who doesn't love a Tiger tank? I mean, it is the iconic tank of all time, isn't it? Not the best tank, I mean, you could argue it was ever complicated and it was too expensive to build and too slow to build. Had a lot of shortcomings, but such an iconic piece of armour, like nothing else really. Look at this. So this is the one that's got all the bits of the sort of trunking for the exhaust system out of the engine. Here. Look at that. Look at the texturing of that. That is absolutely incredible. Wow. That's fantastic. And then you've got various parts for you've got your antenna holder here on my finger, it's just running up and down there. And bits of trunking, you've got headlights. Some parts I don't even recognise because I'm so not used to seeing things at such a huge scale that things seem to take on a different dimension almost and different meaning to if they're at sort of 35th scale, 48th scale. Excuse me. Or indeed smaller. Looks like that's one of the aerials. Is it an aerial? Is that a barrel cleaning rod? That's an aerial thing. And you've got suspension here, shockers. It's interesting that there are parts I don't really recognise because, like I say, I've probably never seen them before in a kit, that's why. It has a different connotation, a different meaning really. Let's pop that back in there. Okay. That's that one. Very nice, another nice sprue, flawless, no flash, no faults, no nothing. Now look at this. This is a huge sprue. Look at the size of this baby. Oh, it's mahoosive. So there are multiples in here, so just take one out. Now then, look at the drive sprockets. Look at the size of them. They're just enormous. Oh wow, that is mahoosive. Look at it, it's almost as big as my hand nearly. That's incredible. And we've got the air fans at the back of the engine. Excuse me folks, sorry about the coughing. Look at that. Radiator system there, I'm pretty sure it is. Idler wheels here. Again, look at the size of them compared to my hand. Absolutely enormous. And then we've got lots of little parts of the exhaust system. We've got parts of the little air extraction system. We've got the machine gun here. Look at that. Plague. And you wonder why I'm wearing black gloves. Towing hook here, towing eye. That machine gun's fantastic. Oh, it's sublime, isn't it? It's just absolutely remarkable. And there's two of this sprue, there's twin sprues. Put that back in there. He says, that's word. Just like that. Tommy Cooper would say. Wow, beautiful, beautiful sprues there. Those sprockets are absolutely amazing. Look at them. Now then, aha! Here's the missing sprue I was talking about earlier. I'm sorry, the coughing is going to continue, folks. Please just try and dial it out in your mind if you could be so kind. I hope to return to form next week. Pretty well compared to what it was like. Now then, just turn the sound down. You don't need the sound, do you? Dear, oh dear. This one's dying. Now, what we have here are the many, many pins. Many, many pins. These are the pins for the tracks, track link pins. And then you've got the lens that go on the end of the track. And they just clip on beyond the pin. And of course there's lots of these. 3 sprues that are identical to that, so a lot of them. And I say, it's actually quite, if you watch Andy's video, it's a very simple system. It just sort of pins and clicks in. And if you want to, you can leave them all loose and just click them out. Probably best not to do that, but as long as you leave 1 or 2. Oh boy. This is when I wish I had editing skills. It's not much fun when you are ill, but I thought it was important to show this as it's just arrived. Not wait till everybody else has done it, you know, a week or 2 from there really. So, what have we got here? Ah, now then, the breech. Sorry about that. Once more, onto the breech, dear friends. once more, as Shakespeare would say. End of that. Yeah. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moulding. Whoa! Look at the teething on the actual the cogs for the actual elevation for the gun. Look at that breech. Wow, that's the shell catcher. And then you've got all these other parts in the hydraulic shock absorber here. That's just gorgeous. What a beautiful piece of moulding, isn't it? Breathtaking, to be honest. Absolutely phenomenal. Amazing. So not back and do the usual trick. Okay. Now say, and I'm quite serious when I say this, that I do genuinely want to build this. It's just lit my fire. It's one of those kits I thought, yes, there's something I would build. There's something I would build. For the novelty of the sheer size of it, the fact that you can see all the detail, it doesn't strain your eyes as much as normal. And when you see the final product that Andy's built several of them, it's mouth-watering. It's drop dead gorgeous, the tank is, when he's finished it. And it's funny, he's done one, hasn't he? You've probably seen this. Where he's done it, he was going to do it in the white winter camo, and he's done it in the three-tone, like the Normandy style. And he's now saying, I don't really want to repaint it now. I think I'll keep it because it looks so nice. And I don't blame him, actually. Now, interestingly here, we've got two different types of front glasses plate, so maybe there's going to be more than one version coming out. Seems like there are two different versions here. Can you see that? Oh wow, that's very, very nicely done there, isn't it? And then you've got your rear plate where you have your mudguards and your back sort of bulkhead. And here you've got the actual front of the glasses itself, where you've got your viewing slot and your machine gun port comes out here. And here is the machine gun port, there. And then you've got a load of hatches further up, of course. Show you that. There we go. Number of different hatches. It's just beautifully formed, and there's no flash or any silly nonsense like that. You know, the clean-up, and they've been very clever in the way they've gone about these. You know, they've not tried to cram too much on a sprue, a tree. They've kept it simple. Sort of economy of scale, the way they've gone about it, and it should make it relatively straightforward clean-up, I think, to get the parts ready to assemble. I don't think it's going to be a problem kit at all. Certainly, there is a couple of things that Andy said. You can have the suspension fixed, or you can have it fully workable. And there is a point you come to where you have a choice and you have to make a decision on that. And if you want to have it fully workable, there's a couple of nubs that lock it, and you have to remove these nubs. We'll probably come to those parts. I don't think I've seen them yet, actually. So, here we have the top of. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn here. I'm going to evolve my thinking. There we go. Look at that now then. A bit more like a production line. Look at the top of that. Look at the moulding here. Look at the weld lines. They're absolutely incredible. The seams of the welds. Oh my word. That is impressive. Look at that. Oh, that's breathtaking moulding, isn't it, really? All the way round as well, you can see the seam. Oops. If it'll just focus for a second, that would be great. Thank you. You see the weld seam right the way around the turret, all the way around the back. Look, right the way around. Look at that. Oh, and then you've got, as I mentioned, it looks like there might be further versions coming, because we've got the mantlet at the front has got 3 different versions. Although as I look at it, I'm trying to decide what the difference is. Very minimal differences. It's the depth here of this plate here. It's deeper there. Slightly different design here. Got a reinforcement bar. different, very subtle differences, aren't there, between the versions? It may just be that those are the versions in the kit as it evolved, you know. The mid-production Tiger, early mid, isn't it? Early, basically. But that's nice. Look at the bolt detail on there as well. Look at that. Oh, you know, plastic modelling technology in terms of the moulding doesn't get really any better than that, does it? I mean, you know, that fantastic detail there. They've got right down to the weld detail, the seams of the welds. That's absolutely incredible. Beautiful. Whew. It's a joy, this. It's a joy. It's almost wing nut wings. It would be if you had better instructions. But I say, Andy, all credit to him for, you know, he's thought, yes, we need to, he's obviously thought about it, thought, yeah, I need to fill that gap, and he's done it brilliantly. He's a clever guy, no question. He sees the market, understands what people want, because he's a modeller. This is the thing, you know, I've said it before several times, people know. We need more modellers making decisions in the model industry, and we want less people that are just designers or scanners or directors who think they're wizards at business and they know nothing about what we do as a hobby. And Andy has solved all those problems in a stroke, hasn't he? Right, so here we've got the back. That way, isn't it, I think? Yep. It's a bit warped. Is it my imagination? Slight warp to it, nothing too serious. Yeah, this is the back bulkhead where you're going to attach all your exhausts, and your tools will be going on here and everything. Your two exhaust pipes will be coming on here, etc, etc. Here we've got the top of the hull, which is the sort of business part of the tank. It makes you real beautifully moulded again. Again, look at these weld lines. Look at the welding here. Oh, look at that on the edge, the seam weld. Beautiful, isn't it? It shows how relatively crude they were, I suppose, as well, really. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? It really, really is. All the hatches is included there. But it also shows how relatively crude it was, not just in the construction, but this design, you know. Perhaps the crudeness of the basic design is quite square. It's what made it quite threatening and intimidating, that's the right word, isn't it, to allied tankers, you know, if you're in a Sherman or West, a humble Honey Stewart or something. Gosh, you know, you can understand why there was this, what Montgomery used to moan about. He used to call it a tiger complex. Everybody's got a tiger complex. They say every tank is a damn tiger, when of course there weren't. And there was, tigers were the least numerous tank of all, and the King Tiger even less so, you know. I think the King Tiger, I think in the Normandy campaign, they only had about 25 of them. And these Tigers, I think there's only about 100 or so, 130, maybe so. But, you know, everything does, you know, you can understand the Mark IV from a distance, and the Tiger don't look that dissimilar. And of course this created a lot of fear on the battlefront. And you know, if you're up against a Tiger, you're in real trouble, because that 88mm gun in the hands of a good gunner. Who was the gunner for Michael Wittmann? Was it Bobby Vole? I think it was Bobby Vole, wasn't it? He was supposed to be one of the best gunners the Germans had. He was a really good gunner, you know. And he was fast and he was accurate. And if you got those two things, you're in a Tiger. You're in a strong position. Anyway, here we've got the side plates, the outer and the inner side plate for the tank, the hull. Fairly plain those, there's not a lot to comment on there really. We need technique to get it back in, because we know it works. I'm becoming like an expert packer, aren't I? Now, pop that back in there. The problem the Tiger had, of course, it had this dual clutch gearbox, and it was very reliable. It was underpowered because it was heavy. What was it? 55 tons, was it? And the engine was basically the same one that was in that was in that. It was put in the king tiger, it was put in the panther. It wasn't overpowered, it struggled in terms of performance. So if it got into mud, it got into trouble, you know. It used to overheat and the gearbox used to fail and all sorts of trouble. But it was a very mighty thing when it was working. Here we've got the grates that cover the engine flaps. And the hinges, look at the hinges there, those are good, aren't they? Wow. And then we've got the barrel cleaning rods here. Got a lovely spade. Look at the size of that spade. That's massive. It's as big as my hand. Huh. That's incredible. And then a small spade here as well, smaller one. That's like a trenching tool, isn't it, really? And then further over we've got the wire cutters, snipping barbed wire fences. Again, lovely moulding. We've got a couple of axes, we've got like a hatchet. Well, that's a sledgehammer, isn't it? And then there's a hatchet type of axe. Incredible. And then you've also got a little, like a security box here, stowage box. Fabulous. I'm going to have to go with the tried and trusted method, otherwise we won't get it back in. Excuse me. Wow. Okay, that goes in there like that, and then we have to plug it in, and we're almost finished, incredibly. Well, I say that, there's still, yeah, there's two sprues left, because one of them is a replica, and this one is the wheels, the rest of the wheels, and it's repeated 4 times, so we'll have a look at that one. See what we have got. It says, can we get it out even? It seems to have interlocked itself rather effectively with the rest of the sprues. Okay, no we can't, so we go with the top one. Okay, there we go. How about this? Ah, yes, those are rather nice, aren't they? Road wheels. And again, the hexagonal bolt that are in the centre. Absolutely beautiful, aren't they? Look at that. That's where you paint this black, the rubber road rim. Gives it the grip on the tracks. And then we've got various parts of torsion bars here. Torsion bars. And we have got lots of we've got fasteners, we've got a tow cable here, a hook, a towing hook, complete with cable on it. Can you see that? There. That is nice, isn't it, with the cable around it? Wow. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, that's pretty, that's nice moulding. As I said, there's 4 of this sprue, various parts of the towing hooks. There we are. Again, to get the size, it's as big as my finger. Huge. Beautiful, beautiful. Pop that back in there. And that just leaves one more sprue. I feel like I've been doing this for hours. I've gone through it fairly quickly because I didn't want it to be too long, the video. Because it was inevitably going to be, wasn't it? It's going to be a long one, this. And I was worried about coughing and spluttering. And yes, I had a bit of a fit in the middle. I'm sorry about that, I do apologise. I've been doing everything. I've been taking inhalers and all sorts to try and help me and avoid it, but I'm just suffering the after effects of this, like a flu, bug, virus. Yeah, it isn't terribly, but it's very similar to it, and in some respects it was worse. Alright, pounding headache, I was screaming with cold. Oh, it's horrible. Over the worst of it now though. Anyway, oh, look look at this. This is a good one to end on, I think. So it's the gun barrel. So you've got the inner end of the gun barrel here, where it comes out of the mantlet. It's just massive. Again, lots of fine detail there. And then you've got the part that heads up to the... Where are we? So I'm just trying to get my bearings because I'm looking for a couple... Oh yes, here we go, sorry. Let's see what I'm looking for. Slide moulded muzzle flash illuminator, the muzzle. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, that is just fantastic. What a beautiful piece, yeah. And that's the actual end of the muzzle is here. I saw that first and thought, where's the rest of it? And then you've got the other part of the sort of centre part of the barrel here. And of course you've got that metal part as well. I'm not sure that's supposed to be an alternative. I've lost it to the bottom there. But it's a mighty thing, isn't it? Then you've got your hatches. This is your gunner's hatch. You got your commander's cupola hatch lid. And as I mentioned, you've got the this is the internal locking system on the hatch latches. And you've got that wonderful muzzle, and you've got various parts, and then you've got the I'm saying that's the driver's hatch. Sorry, that's the escape hatch. Sorry, that's the escape hatch. That's the escape hatch at the back of the turret, and then you've got your gunner's hatch. You've got the cupola for the captain, and you've got the driver's hatch down here as well. Amazing, isn't it? What a nice kit. And it's kind of strange because it looks... How can I describe it? In a way, your brain is having trouble recalculating the scale a little bit because it's so big. It's kind of almost less impressive because it's not so tiny and it's not so... Because we're used to Takom and other manufacturers like this being very, very good at moulding these little teensy tiny pieces. Well, they don't have to mould them teensy tiny pieces, do they? Because the scale means that they can just... Excuse me. They can actually focus on things like the fine detail, like the bolts and the screws and the nuts. That becomes their focus, really. Getting the part shape accurate is easy because it's bigger. But if you watch Andy's video of him building it, it looks absolutely knockout, this kit. So there we have it. There we have it. So I'm going to bring this large box, not quite as massive as the one it came in, I've got to say. What on earth I'm going to do with that, I don't know. I'm going to put the lid on. It's still pretty big. It has to be, doesn't it? Now, I know this sort of size of kit isn't for everybody, and frankly it's not for me normally, but it's just so nice to have a Tiger one, especially in early production. At that scale, at that scale, try and get us in, here we go. Turn this down a little bit. There we go. Just nice to have it, and with a workable suspension, with workable tracks. Sorry, folks. Sorry. It's kind of in a league of its own. It's in a league of its own, and it's not that expensive when you consider what you get there. It's a huge amount of plastic. It's heavy, you know. I mean, that is still cheaper than a Tamiya 32nd scale Mosquito by about £30–40. So it's relative, isn't it? I think it's relatively good value. Marks out of 10. Well, I think it's kind of inevitable where I'm going to go with this because I think it's 10 out of 10 for the plastic. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Nothing wrong with it at all. A bit disappointed with the instructions again. It doesn't matter in this case because Andy has overcome that. So I think you have to say fairly, if it had premium instructions and it showed, I mean, why can't this show, you know, I'm not going to go off on my usual rant because you all know where I'm coming from. but why can't they just show some pictures of the tigers in the battles and in the field, and show some pictures of Wittmann? If you don't know anything about tigers, nothing is there for you, is it? Nothing. You've got to know the subject to really enjoy and get the most out of this, which is kind of disappointing in a premium product. That's not a criticism of Andy's hobby headquarters at all. That's just my criticism of Tacom. Andy, I think that this would have been an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10 because Andy has kind of almost got it to 10 with all the work he's done. Very cleverly overcoming the difficulties you may face with building it and walking you through it and helping the modeller. You know, it's a modeller helping us other modelers, which is fantastic, I think. So it can't have 10 out of 10 because those instructions do lack a bit of, you know, charisma and history, and there's nothing in there, is there? It's just how to build this plastic kit. Tacom and all you other manufacturers out there, especially in the Far East, you need to do more. Andy has made this really very special, I think, because of the way he's gone about marketing it very, very cleverly with real style. So it's 9.5 out of 10, which is, for something costing that much money, I think that's a fantastic score. Andy, you get 10 out of 10. Tacom get 9. I think that's sort of the way to put it, really. Thank you anyway. I hope you've all found this interesting. I hope you'll give me 10 out of 10, a full, thorough like score. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We have got some more Wingnut Wings reviews coming up very, very soon. One or two other things in the not too distant future, including the Dam Busters in May, which is only about 5 or 6 weeks away. So that's coming up in fairly soon. We'll be looking at that Tamiya Dam Busters Lancaster. So we've got quite a lot to look at. We've basically got something every week. We should have. I'm hoping I will recover fully. I do apologise for the coughing and spluttering and sounding like I was about to expire. I feel okay again now, ironically. I should have had a bit more to drink, perhaps. Cheers, anyway. I hope you've had a pleasant evening and enjoyed watching the video. All the best to all of you. Good health. Don't get what I've just had, whatever you do. Thanks very much to Andy's Hobby Headquarters. And the supplier, this came from a supplier that basically did a direct shipment, you know, like a pre-order. And it literally did come from China. I was amazed, actually. It didn't come via the hobby store at all. It was just that they arranged it, if you like, as almost like an agent. So that has literally come directly from China to us with all the international shipment details on it. So thanks very much to the supplier. Andy, please keep up the great work. Love your channel. Love your products. Very impressed with this. The fact that I bought something like this is a little bit out of character. And the fact I want to build it is even more so. But I just want to do something that's going to be enjoyable and fun. And I think I could do this and I would enjoy it. Take your time. And you know you're going to have something at the end that's be a real talking point. Everybody would be impressed by it. You know, even if you didn't paint it, they'd be impressed. It'd be a talking point. It's absolutely incredible presence it's got, you know, especially with the working tracks and suspension. So, I'm very, very impressed with it. Thank you. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the show. More coming up soon, as I mentioned. In the meantime, stay safe, stay well, not like me, and hopefully I'll be back on form with the next Wingnut Wings show soon. In the meantime, thanks a lot, stay safe, and bye for now.